Hello, I wanted to come on here and do a video. I noticed that with my videos, I always have this goofy face when it's posted or whatnot, but I'm going to do my best to smile and not make so many goofy faces throughout the video so it doesn't catch me making a funny face. Um, it's not a fake smile, just so you know, but anyway, I want to talk about a kind of preface a discussion that Kelly and I are going to have in the near future on one of our podcasts, and that is what love is not. So, I mean, I'm sure we all have our own list of, of what we don't think love is, but this is just like the core of, if you're in a relationship, what love is not. Um, and sometimes we get things confused with different thoughts of love or passion or things that we think might be love. So I kind of wanted to, talk about that a little bit. So if you're getting into a new relationship, there should be a feeling of like freedom, and a feeling, we talked about this in our podcast too, a feeling of just being free and being able to be yourself. Of course, when you first meet somebody, you're not always, none of us are ever really our total authentic self. And I'll just stress again too, the importance of meeting face to face for the most part. Once you've met somebody and you're dating, and it doesn't always have to, be something, somewhere to go and spend money or going out to dinner. It doesn't have to be, spending money to get to know somebody. I mean, I know some women probably expect that, but really you kind of want to set the tone of the type of woman that you want to be with. I mean, if she's expecting you to take her to extravagant places, I mean, first of all, would you even want to like have a long-term relationship with somebody like that? Um, and it goes for women and men. Some women, are they can afford it better or something. I don't know. But anyway, so it doesn't have to be, expensive, elaborate places where you're spending all kinds of money. And I mean, it can be a walk. It could be a hike. It could be, I don't know. I'm trying to think of places around here, or, because I'm here in Benson, where everything is scarce and it's a pretty small town. So, but I said all that to say, just meet each other, um, to get to know each other face to face. Once you start dating somebody and you got to know them a little bit, it's good to continue getting to know them, not overdoing it. I like to think once a week is perfect for like being alone and going and getting to know one another and talking and, feeling each other's personality. And, I mean, it's so important. So getting back to what love isn't, and, you know, it's not expectations. So, of course, when you love somebody and you're actually in a relationship, there are, expectations that we have for one another. Like we expect to be respected, we expect honor, we expect, you know, communication. We expect those things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about expecting there to be a connection when there's not. I mean, we can't expect, we can't force a connection. We either have one or we don't. I mean, it's just that simple. So if you get to a place where there's expectation, um, in like whether it be sex or um, if she expects him to take her out and spend all kinds of money, um, those to me is like trying to force a connection. You should feel light. when you're around somebody that you love. In a relationship where there's connection, you should feel light. It should not be anxiety, or there shouldn't be discomfort. You should be able to just feel like you can just be yourself. Once you've reached that place of getting to know each other and their personality and understanding one another, it should feel light. It shouldn't feel like you're forcing or resisting or anything like that. So to me, you should feel that within the first month of knowing somebody. You should feel like there's a lightness to the atmosphere when you're together, and you can freely speak to each other. It just being able to understand each other. That's really important for me. It's super important, because when you understand somebody, it allows them to be themselves. And then the more you allow them to be themselves and be free in their communication and feel at ease, the more you can do that as well. And that's super important when you have a bond or a connection with somebody. So I don't want to talk about the negative stuff. I keep trying to talk about the positive. Okay, so what love is not. There's first we talked about expectations. Love is not just physical. And I bring this topic up every time I do a video or we do a podcast. Love is not just physical. To me, sex is the icing on the cake. Once you feel comfortable and vulnerable, and you're opened up, and you're all that, you feel at ease, and you feel that there's a connection, a connection. I think I'm just going to have to do a whole video on connection, because that is the most important thing, understanding one another and having a connection. And you really know that you have a connection with somebody very early on. I do. I don't know if it's the empath in me, but some people can't tell right away. Maybe after, if you've talked for any length of time, you'll know that you have a connection with somebody pretty soon. Even in, just talking on the phone. And then when you finally meet one another, it kind of like solidifies that connection. Like, that there's chemistry there. So yeah, not having a connection and trying to force a connection causes resistance and the inability to move to that next step. There has to be some kind of soul level depth to your conversation, to your connection, to your overall feel of when you're physically together. And this is why long-term relationships would not work for me, because basically you're building, you have all these feelings, but I really can't really know somebody or know that I'm connected to them. I can feel energy, like in conversation, like on social media or whatnot, but until I meet somebody in person, I can't, I can't say that I would, feel a complete, what's the word I'm looking for? Like confirmation that I'm connected with them. So love is not forceful. It's not resistant. It's not pushy. Love is not let's see, it's not holding things in, it's not withdrawn, it's free. There shouldn't be a like right now. If I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm like, kind of stuck feeling, you shouldn't feel that way when you love somebody, you know, because if you do feel like there's resistance or there's withdrawal, then there's something wrong. There's a barrier. If you've been in a relationship, if there's, if you're not able to talk about things and get things, out in the open, and be able to communicate about them, things that might be bothering you, or something that, you misunderstood or whatnot. I mean, communication is super important. So withdrawing is not love. It's a lack of trust. Maybe it has a little bit to do with, poor communication or poor communication skills. But there should always be, when you're in a relationship, a freedom of communication. And being open and being honest. Love is not dishonesty. Love is not dishonest. And when I say dishonesty, that's not only, not telling or lying to somebody, or, just being dishonest about something. And that can stem from fear. It can stem from different things that's going on in your life where you don't feel like you can be completely honest. And that, that's understandable. But you have to come to a place where you're able to communicate that. And then dishonesty is also not completely telling somebody that, or telling somebody the complete, absolute truth about something that they asked about, or, brought up, or just not being your authentic self. I believe that, just blatantly lying to somebody about something, there's fear in that. There's fear in someone who lies. But love is not dishonesty. So my video is already almost 13 minutes long, so I don't know if I should keep talking or maybe talk about this some more. I know I kind of got off subject, but anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night. So I hope everybody has a good night, and I hope this video made sense, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.